Alright guys, been over 2 days, and the votes have been tallied. 25 total. Melvin Estep barely edges out Brandon Estep as your selection for who we've decided is the most powerful ghost, with Melvin Estep II coming in 3rd place. So, let's go ahead and seal the deal. If you pick Melvin Estep, turn to page 34. You run over to Melvin Estep's grave and plunge your sword into the ground. And wait. Nothing happens. Does that mean you've actually done it? Did you put an end to the curse of the Creeping Coffins? You step back from the grave, leaving the sword standing straight up from the dirt. You take a deep breath. Could it really all be over? Suddenly, one of the other 2 coffins, one of the other steps starts to move. Oh no! You chose the wrong step. It's all over, all right. All over for you. Before your astonished eyes, the headstone creeps across the graveyard. Within seconds, it reaches the 3rd row. When the headstone stops creeping, the word die is complete. And so is your adventure in this book. Complete. Finished. Done. As in, the end. P.S. Here's a hint. Next time you try to defeat the Creeping Coffins, ask Elvira for help. Don't leave so much to chance. That's right, folks. If we had decided to ask Elvira for help, or rather, if you guys had decided to ask Elvira for help, she would have said that Melvin Estep was not the most powerful ghost. It would have been one of Melvin Estep's children. Yeah. So, for the first time in this game book, the majority loses. Alas. For the record, I decide that I was slipping through here. I was stalling for time. Let's go ahead and see exactly what Elvira would have told us if we had decided to ask her for help. You decide to play it safe by asking Elvira for help. You turn and race into the house. Your grandmother is watching TV in the den. You dash past her. She doesn't even look up from her program. The eerie light from the television is the only light in the whole house. You hurry up the back stairs to your room. You've got to find the MPG. And there's only one person, or ghost, who might be able to help you. You flip on a light in your small guest bedroom. A piercing shriek shatters the night. Now what? Cover your ears and turn to page 15. Turn off that stupid light! Elvira screams. I'm trying to get some sleep! Sorry. You quickly flick off the light, but you don't have any trouble seeing Elvira. She glows in the dark. I have to ask you something, you tell her, but she pulls the pillow over her face. This isn't going to be easy. She's one sleepy ghost. Then you have an idea. You flick on the light again. Elvira sits straight up and lets out a piercing wail. Elvira, you say, I'll turn off the light if you answer one teeny question. Then you can sleep as long as you want, I promise. Her eyes begin to glow green again, but she looks very sleepy. Maybe she'll be too tired to hurt you. Who's the most powerful ghost in the graveyard, you blurt out. Elvira blinks a bit. She says. I'd say Melvin Estep's boy. He does tend to rule us with an iron hand. The Estep boy, you mutter. But there are 2 of them, Melvin Estep II and Brandon. Which one? But Elvira doesn't answer. She's fast asleep. And you promised you wouldn't wake her up again. You always keep a promise. Hurry to page 43. You turn and run out of the room, leaving Elvira snoring peacefully in your bed. You head back to the graveyard. You're going to have to take a chance on one of the Estep boys, and fast, before the graves move again. Only one letter left before the curse is complete. That's what keeps going through your head. When you reach the graveyard, you are almost out of breath from running up and down the stairs so many times. The sight that greets you nearly takes your breath away completely. You think you might faint. The graveyard is filled with ghosts, horrible ghosts. One of them, an old man with long, stringy hair, carries an axe. A woman sobs. A head without a body passes, then a body without a head. Each ghost is worse than the last. Then you remember the fencing foil in your hands. You raise the sword to fend them off. It works. They float all round the graveyard, but they don't come near you. You run straight for the Estep graves, but which one? Melvin II or Brandon? You've got to choose. And then you get the same choices as we had before. So, Melvin Estep. Let's try the second most popular choice. Brandon Estep. Turn to page 47. You cross your fingers and decide to take a chance on Brandon Estep. You run over to his tombstone and stand in front of it. You hold the sword in both hands like a dagger, with the point down. Your hands tremble so much you're afraid you'll drop the sword. You tighten your grip and take a deep breath. Then you raise the sword above Brandon's grave and prepare to plunge into the ground. But something stops you. What happened? Find out on page 36. You hear a booming crack, and the next instant, the ghost of Brandon Estep rises up out of his grave. Is he the MPG? Have you chosen the right Estep? You peer at Brandon as he floats towards you. He's a young guy wearing a black leather motorcycle jacket with heavy metal spikes and chains. And a metal hand. A metal hand? A chill of terror runs through you. This must be him. The most powerful ghost. The ghost with the iron hand. Okay, time out. Now, we elected, as a group, not to ask Elvira for advice, so we knew jack shit about some ghost ruling the rest of the graveyard with an iron hand. We didn't know. But since both choices, regardless of whether you ask Elvira, route here, yeah, little iffy on this game book's part, little iffy on R.L. Stein's part. Could have been better design there. I'm just saying. I mean, whenever you're a kid, you're probably not going to catch something like that because you're like, oh, it's the MPG. And, you know, if you're taking a stab at it, if you will, you might try asking Elvira to cut your choices down to 50-50 instead of 1 in 3. But regardless, it is what it is. And it's a good thing that we know the whole Iron Hand thing, or else we would have all been confused. Except for me, because I've actually read the thing. Moving on with the story again. Theo. Rudy! You raise the foil again, but the ghost lunges at you and grabs your arm with his iron hand. Your arm freezes. You can't move. For a moment, you panic. Then you remember what McFarling told you. The date of Sarah's death. It's magic somehow. Did you write down the date like McFarling told you? Good. Then find the date and add up all 4 digits in the year. What's the new number? Well, that's your next page number. Turn to that page. You don't remember the date? Turn to page 96 and choose one of the Sarahs. Add up the digits and the year of death, and turn to that page. So, for your convenience, I have both Sarahs listed, their birth dates and death dates, although we only need the death dates. Sarah Grayson, if we choose her, is 1 plus 8, that's 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. 18 plus 5 is 23. Basic math skills have not eluded me today. Yet. Now, there's Sarah McGinnis. 9 plus 4 is 13. Plus 1 is 14. Plus 0 is still 14. Woohoo! So, which Sarah do we pick here? Do we pick Sarah Grayson or Sarah McGinnis? Dun dun dun! And for giggles, let's see what would have happened if we had picked Melvin Estep II. You plunge your sword into Melvin Step II's grave. The moment the foil pierces the ground, Melvin Step II rises up out of the earth. Ooh, really bad choice. He's not the MPG, he's the MHG, the most horrible ghost. As the stinking mist that surrounds him begins to clear, you can see he has no face. There is just a skull filled with rats. The squealing rodents pop out of his eye sockets. They run up and down his cheekbones and in through his grinning mouth. He rises up, towering over you. He's huge. You sink to your knees in terror. No, you whimper. He is covered in shredded rags, teeming with bugs. Strips of rotting flesh fall from his skeletal body. He lifts his horrible skull head to the sky and lets out an unearthly moan. Then he fixes his rat-filled eye sockets on you. And then, his bloody hands reach for your throat. Face it, what happens next is too gross, even for you. You'd better close the book for now, and open it again when you think you can survive all the way to the end. Good thing you guys didn't vote the most for him. Melvin Step II, that son of a bitch. So yep. Which Sarah are we going with here? Let me know. We'll be back again in another day or two. This could be important. This might be the final decision of the story arc. Choose wisely. Choose wisely you must. In order to defeat the game book, you will. That was Yoda on acid. I'm tripping. Balls I am tripping. Or balls you are tripping. Whatever.